Molweni UCT, molweni. Halala graduates, halala. Halala, halala. Vice Chancellor Professor Pakeng, thank you so much for this invitation, and I greet you tonight. It is a distinguished honor to be here with you to celebrate this incredible achievement of those who are graduating tonight. I can imagine you're all sitting there imagining those long nights when you were studying, trying to make sure that you can get to this moment. Feel proud of yourself and really slow yourself down. This is a tremendous achievement and a memorable moment. Well, as for my address, unfortunately, I do not bring words of wisdoms from faraway galaxies, but instead, I would like to share my own reflections on my humble journey, which I hope can be of some value to you as you go out and graduate. So as a young child, I was very curious in life and liked to get involved in a lot of things. Or as my mother would say, yeah, mntana uthanda izinto, ukwi sports, ukwi drama, ukwi academics, ukhetha ntoni kanye kanye Judy, ntoni uyifunayo. And obviously what it meant was I was lucky enough to be quite good at everything that I managed to try as a young person. And so when I graduated with my master's degree 10 years ago, it was very much a surprise for me when I was an unemployed graduate. So despite having achieved success, according to what school and university deemed as success, I was still not privy to the hard knocks of life. And I think this was a very important lesson for me very young on about what it meant to step into this next phase of the journey. But you see, my journey is different to that of my family and those that come before me. My immediate family didn't even have the opportunity to have a matric, let alone a master's degree from an Ivy League university. And so as despondent as I felt when I was unemployed, I knew that it was up to me to redefine the lineage and the story that would be told about my family. And I knew that I had to dig deep and find within myself to say, how do I draw from the strength of what they had paved, the path that they had created, so that I could have the opportunities to be able to redefine how our family is considered, to break the intergenerational poverty trap. And I think very particularly what is not discussed, the psychological strain of what it means to live in a constant state of survival. So down and out, living on a friend's couch, I kind of made my way up to Pretoria to be closer to opportunities that I was looking for. And I said to myself, Judy, you need to pull yourself together now. Remember, everything in your life has brought you to this moment. Your life journey has taught you to be resilient, to be determined, to be agile, to connect across divides. And in fact, I realized it was those qualities that I needed to bring into my story and my application process. And so when I finally got the job as an organization development practitioner at a bank in Johannesburg, it was the combination of my academic qualifications as well as my life journey and my character. This is very important, your character, who you are matters. That finally landed me the job. And so obviously at the time, I think I felt very, very depressed for not getting a job straight after graduation. But it actually really taught me to see life and the lessons that these roadblocks bring, to see them as instruments that actually sharpen you to get very clear about who you are and what you want to be in the world. So as I progressed then in my career, I noticed something quite interesting. My academic qualifications and my journey and my potential may have gotten me into the job, but actually my ability to execute excellent work and my ability to nurture my emotional intelligence were actually quite vital in determining my ability to then progress and the impact that I would make. And of course, we know as young people, we've got a vision, we've got a dream, we know what we want to be able to do when we go into the institutions that we're a part of and bring about change. So as much as I wanted to change absolutely everything in the first week, because of course, that's what we do, I had to learn that I needed to slow down. I needed to understand who were the people that I was working with. I needed to build trusting relationships. I needed to build credibility in the sense that the emotions that I had, I needed to find ways to channel them constructively. And equally what that meant was I needed to look at what was the system I was working in and understand actually where were the points of change in that system. I think often when we want to come in as young people and change a system, we don't understand, well, there's already an existing structure here, and where are the points of leverage where you can bring change? And so I realized that my ability to combine all of these things led me to progress pretty quickly in my career, and I was promoted quite young. And actually what it means is when you are able to combine your skills of your intellect and your emotional intelligence as well as your social intelligence, those combination of factors allowed me to then have more responsibility, and I could actually then effect the change that I wanted to bring. Now, a few years after I was in the banking sector, I wanted to be involved in projects that were closely related to social impact. And so I did something which a lot of people thought was absolutely crazy. I resigned from my cushy corporate job. I, of course, had no idea where I was going to go. And, at the time, I'd also recently bought my mother a house. We had, as I've mentioned earlier, grew up in a context where, I had and then we lost it all. And so the idea that my leaving my work could mean that we'd go back to a position of destitute and struggle was very, very stressful for everyone around me. But you see, the thing is, I knew that my desire to make social impact was larger than my fear of wanting to stay purely because of comfort and purely because of what I knew. They say fortune favors the brave. And so by the time I'd finished working out my notice period at the bank, I was fortunate enough to have lined up a couple of consulting projects, which led me then to working with the Mandela Rhodes Foundation, where I'm currently the Deputy Executive Director. So my encouragement to you graduates is, do not let the fear of the unknown, the fear of failure, hold you back from really going to pursue your dreams. If I had done that, then I would have missed out on the most incredible life experience of working with the next generation of young leaders, where Mr. Mandela himself said, go out there are exceptional young people, find them, develop them, and prepare them to lead in this complex but very beautiful world. I would have not had the chance to have 2 passports, and no one in my family had ever traveled outside of the country, to be able to go out there and live these experiences for them, to meet distinguishing experts who I could learn from and also grow in my own capacity as a leader. And so I look at the past 5 years and I cannot imagine a more incredible life, because I was courageous enough to make that leap and go for my dreams. As author and poet Koleka Potuma instructs, you owe your dreams your courage. Now, when I look back over my journey, some of the most memorable experiences have been with my beloved partner, my mother, my extended family, and my friends. I mean, these are the people that really know you, that really shape you, and that really try and find the best within you. So my encouragement to you, trust me, you're going to say this lady said this once. Make sure you keep friends who inspire you. Keep friends who challenge you, who stretch you and say, Chomi, no, but this is not what we said the dream was. Who can remind you of those times when you're feeling down and out and you're struggling, and you know that they are the people that can come to you. And I also want to implore you, let go of people who bring negative vibes. They're going to pull you down with them. That's the only thing they can do. And most importantly, find yourself a partner who inspires you to be more than you ever imagined you could be, who is there for you even at the darkest moments, whose arms of love can hold you and say, tomorrow will be a better day. Treasure the moments you have with your family. You will look back over time and realize how they deeply influenced and shaped who you are as a person, as frustrating as they may be. We all know we've got our family dynamics. But you know what? Most importantly, have as much fun as you can. Please, guys, enjoy life, even if it means dancing in the rain with a weave on. So I recently came across a Japanese art philosophy process called kintsugi. And essentially, it is about taking broken pottery and reassembling it using precious metals, golds, platinum, etc. And really, as a philosophy, what Kintsugi speaks to is the idea of celebrating fragmentation and repairing. And it sees beauty in the history of an object, even though it was broken. It embraces the imperfection and sees beauty in the peculiar. When I think about my own life journey, many times, whether it was on the playgrounds as a young girl, we were discussing where we were from earlier, or a woman trying to find her voice at university lecture halls, or on public platforms, or as a director in the boardroom. Oftentimes, I compromised who I was. I held back my voice out of fear. I didn't show up as my authentic self. And of course, this is based on those deep-seated insecurities and anxieties that we all face sometimes. That voice in one's head that says you are not good enough. The idea that my humanities and touchy-feely perspectives would be seen as too eccentric for the spaces I was in. The fact that I could not give any authority on leadership and organization development because I myself at times as a leader fell short. But you see, the thing is, I realized the more I do the inner work, really digging deep and recognizing that I am fundamentally worthy and capable, the more I am able to really celebrate the different facets that make up who I am. We all know that none of us are perfect. The journey of accepting ourselves in all our flaws is a lifelong process. So I encourage you to please be gentle on yourself and practice self-compassion. Be open to constantly learning. I mean, one of my favorite writers is a professor at Stanford, Carol Dweck, who talks about this idea of growth mindset. So there's two kinds of people in the world. Those who believe in a fixed mindset, which is you only have the skills and capacities and values that you have, and those are stationed for life. Whereas the growth mindset says, if you're open to learning and growing, you can always build and develop. And I think when I look at young graduates that succeed, it's people who have that growth mindset. Yes, you've got this education, it's a tool, but now how do you continue to learn and stretch yourself to go forward and be impactful? And lastly, as I wrap up, of course we know that when we actually get to a place of fully accepting ourselves in all our imperfections, that is when we can find true inner peace and the ability to then harness the potential and the talents that we have to actually go out there and be impactful. As Brazilian author Paulo Coelho notes, perhaps the journey is not so much about becoming anything. Perhaps the journey is about unbecoming everything that is not you, so you can be who you have always meant to be. Congratulations, graduates, for this amazing achievement. You have everything you need within you to go into this next phase of your journey. Hala, hala, graduates, hala, hala!